Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
Now to our discussion about the 28th Annual St. Louis African Arts Festival, which showcases the wide range of cultures among African nations and the African diaspora. It returns to the World's Fair Pavilion in Forest Park this weekend. It runs from Saturday through Monday. The festival will include an African marketplace, movies, food, various cultural demonstrations, kids' activities, and much more. Here to discuss what all will be taking place at the event is Gerald Brooks, chair of the African Heritage Association of St. Louis, and Jason McNary, co-chair of the St. Louis African Arts Festival Board. Gerald and Jason, thank you for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for having us here today.
Let me start out by saying this is a free event, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
It is.
100%.
Okay, that's important. Let's talk a little bit about what's going to be going on. We talked about an African marketplace. What does that mean?
Jason, you want to take it?
Well, I'll take it. Oh, yeah. Well, our African marketplace, we have about 80 different vendors from all over the country. We've been the festival committee's been working really hard to try to expand that, to find vendors from different parts of the country, different areas, bringing new products, new things, to just basically make it a much better experience for everyone that comes. So we want different types of, from clothing to candles to you name it, whatever any type of items that are, I guess you can say, African authentic. We want to make sure we expand on the African diaspora and get every part as best as we can, people that are coming to the festival, and we display that in our marketplace.
So we're looking at items that have been made in Africa or are African inspired, or both?
Both, but mainly made in Africa. And our vendors come as far away as New York, and we're also from Kansas, Oklahoma, and Illinois. But these are vendors who visit Africa continuously because their wares have to be authentic. And some of these vendors have been with us from the beginning.
Yes.
And they keep coming back. So that's what makes our product so good, is because when you walk in, it's like you're walking into a village, because you hear it before you get there, and then you smell it before you get there, and then you see what's going on. And the marketplace, if you can wear it, if you can use it as a beauty aid product, if you can display it, it's being sold at the marketplace.
Okay. What is exactly does it mean to be part of the African diaspora?
Well, I think that it's important. One of the things that we're proud of is that we have a diverse audience. And that diverse audience is there to learn, as we are there to teach. And in the beginning, we didn't know if the St. Louis area was ready for this type of festival, even though it grew out of Washington University's African Study Conference. And then it began that in November of 1991 in the Sheldon's Concert Hall. That's where we had our first one. That's how small it was. Mm-hmm. And it's grown now to where we have 10 to 30,000 people come through there over the weekend.
But what is the diaspora itself? How does that figure in?
Well, it is important that people know what Africans and African Americans contributed to this country to make it as successful as it is. It means that the festival is a means to bring the community together and through music and dance and art. And it's just the fact that people need to know where it all started. And so because of that, we felt that St. Louis needed something like this. And so what we do is we try our best to make sure that they understand exactly where we came from as African Americans.
And people come from all over to see it, don't they? And it doesn't matter whether they're black, white, or...
Yes.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
And it kind of helps out because the diaspora has expanded. It's landed in Caribbean, and so we have a little bit of Caribbean flavor there, even in our food court area, so that's represented there. Latin America. So we have a lot of things we have a couple of vendors that actually have items that are inspired, like Latin American inspired, but you can see how they match up to a lot of things from African culture, Western Africa in particular. So we have a lot of the vendors are generally from Western Africa,
Countries such as
Senegal and Nigeria.
Ghana.
Yeah.
And the African diaspora has made a profound contribution to the culture of America. And that's just the bottom line. So people need to know that. And sometimes you have to say it again and again before they get it. And we start with little kids and teens, and we teach them. And that's how we actually started out as an educational forum. And it got so big to the point where we wanted to spread out and do more. So when we moved it to Forest Park, we were able to do that.
why Memorial Day weekend, or did it just work out that way?
No, the first one was held in November, and which means you're mostly indoors. And again, it kept growing and it kept growing. And one year we were looking at where we could go that would be big enough, because we're also at Forest Park Community College. We had it there for a few years too. And we talked to the Park Services folks, and they said sure. And that was 20 years ago. We've been in Forest Park, doing it in Forest Park for 20 of the 28 years.
So, but sometimes it rains.
Oh, we've had, you name it, we've been through it.
Oh, yeah.
Wind, rain,
Storms,
you name it. And you know what? There's been a time where we've lost a few tents, and you go looking for them and bring them back. But people stick with us. They keep coming back because it's that kind of festival. It's a festival for everyone, for every age. And when you get there, we can also feed you, because there's food, and there's authentic African cuisine as well as American.
What kind of food?
Well, the food ranges from we have Ethiopian, Senegalese, Nigerian.
But I mean, what are they? What? Give me some examples.
Examples? You know,
Well, it's like are you talking about like the meats and veggies?
Yeah,
And
uh-huh.
I mean a lot of vegetables, and various types of meat. They do like things spicy, so that's another thing. But what's really outstanding is that we have kids that have been coming to the festival every year, and now they're teens and adults, and they enjoy this food. It's like some of it's too spicy for me, but you see these little kids walking around with it and enjoying the heck out of it,
Right. Well, what about, here's something that's very important to folks. What about parking?
well, parking is a challenge because on this particular weekend, this is kind of Forest Park's impromptu welcome to the summer. So the zoo is at full operation. The Science Center, a lot of the things in the park. I believe last year on opening day, when the festival took off, the park reported to me, or Parks and Recreation reported to me, that they also had 22 weddings in the park that day. So at the Jewel Box and all the other places within the parks, they had actual weddings. So we're competing with these spaces. We try our best to try to get people in there, direct them to certain parking lots in certain areas. We have park shuttles that are free for the most part. I think it's like $2, but it lasts you all day. And then we also have a bi-state. Bi-state, we have 2 stops right along the park itself, which as long as you're in the park, you can get on the bi-state bus, and it would take you straight to the festival grounds. And that is 100% free.
Okay.
Yeah, we know it's a challenge, so we encourage folks to visit, to use the Forest Park Explorer bus, as Jason was saying, and also to park on the Muni lot. They have a lot that they can park on there as well, because we're also competing with family reunions. There are a ton of family reunions.
You're talking
going
about
on.
the weddings, those
Yeah,
reunions,
the
yeah.
and they're bigger than the weddings. So yeah, it's a lot of competition. But people will wait until they can find that parking spot, or they'll walk just to get to the festival. Yeah.
Okay. What led each of you to take part in this? I mean, Gerald, you've been doing this for almost 30 years. I'm not sure, Jason, about you, but what led you to be a part of this?
Well, I was kind of plucked from obscurity, I guess you could say. About 10 years ago, I was kind of helping a couple of friends of mine, college friends of mine, that were actually running for political office here. And I guess my name kind of got floated to Cynthia Cosby, which is the founder. She's the founder of the St. Louis African Arts Festival. And And she basically recruited me, and she said, you seem to have a lot of energy, a lot of great ideas. You can help kind of transform the festival and push it forward into the next 20 or 30 years. So that's kind of, I've tasked myself with that responsibility, and I know probably I get on these guys' nerves a lot because I'm really, it's actually very passionate about it. And it's kind of, with me, it's grown over the years because I knew nothing about the festival when I was brought on
It's a
board.
learning experience.
It was a total learning experience. But now I have a daughter. She's 11. She's grown up pretty much with me every year. She'll be out at the festival today because I have to pick her up from school and come back to the festival. So she will be out there, and she'll be out there pretty much all weekend. So she's grown up learning and loving the festival that I've learned and loved from them. And I think that's how this thing should work. And a lot of the other dedicated committee members that we have, they've grown up. A lot of their kids are now involved. And this is just a thing where we're just passing it on. And I'm going to do my best to not let these guys down and taking over and keeping it and making it better from year to year. So that's how I got there.
Okay, Gerald.
Jason, along with the other co-chair, Robin Gillespie, are pretty much there all the time, every day. And I started with the festival 27 years ago. Actually, I was in Jason's shoes. I was doing what Jason. I was the one that was on site every day, all day. And as the festival grew, but recruited by Cynthia, I was working at the library, and Cynthia recruited me for doing this and got involved, and it's been one of the organizations that I just can't let go because it's a fantastic organization. I've grown with it, and ultimately I ended up as chairman of the board of the African Heritage Association.
You all work hard. I know the hours are long. Do you get to enjoy the festival yourselves?
Oh yeah. Oh, when you're there, you can't help but enjoy yourselves. I mean, you're still hearing the music, you're seeing the dancing, you can participate,
and
if
you gotta
want to,
eat,
and you gotta eat. So yeah. I mean, I think that's what it is about all of the volunteers that we have, and it's a total volunteer organization. No one gets paid. Everyone who's involved with the festival is a volunteer, but it's a love of the festival itself, and it's something that we're bringing to the St. Louis metropolitan area that no one else is. And we've taken it on as a passion, and we just look forward to the next year.
What's the most popular activity, if there is one thing or two things that are popular, really popular?
See, I would say the marketplace.
The marketplace has to be number one,
Yeah.
and then probably right behind that is probably our children's and teens and health village. We offer for like our health village, we offer a lot of health screenings free for the public, so they can come in and get diabetes testing and cholesterol checks and things like that. And then in the children's part and teens. We also offer programs, even from the little kids, from little activities of building things, face painting, all the way up to the teens, which give them an avenue to express their love for art and entertainment, and they're able to express those things either through singing and painting or spoken word. So that has also been a very big part of the festival over the last 2 or 3 years, and that has grown religiously larger and larger, and we gotta.
Let me stop you here just for a second. Our time is running short. If you could say just briefly in one sentence why people should attend the African Arts Festival, what would you say?
The ultimate event for entertainment, for food, for fun, for learning to come to.
Okay. Jason? Why should I come?
You should come to 2 words, perfect experience.
Okay, very good. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. I want to thank Gerald Brooks and Jason McNary, the organizers of the St. Louis African Arts Festival, for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
The Gateway brings you the day's news from the St. Louis region and across Missouri. It also includes stories from the Illinois side of the river and our Metro East reporter, Will Bauer.
In Alton, in Belleville, in East St. Louis, in Edwardsville, in Cahokia Heights, at Scott Air Force Base, I'm Will Bauer. St. Louis Public Radio.
Listen to reports from Will and all of our journalists weekdays on the Gateway, on the STLPR app, and wherever you get podcasts.